What's up guys, Chad Molyneux Fitness here with the Chad Molyneux Fitness YouTube channel. How's everybody doing? So, something very exciting for you guys over the course of this next week. Over the course of this next week, I'm going to talk to you guys about macronutrients. So on Monday, you guys are going to get a video about carbohydrates. That's the video that we're going to talk about right now. And then on Wednesday, you guys are going to get a video about fats. And then on Friday, you guys are going to get a video about protein. I'm going to give you guys in-depth information about each of these macronutrients and how they are beneficial to your body. I feel like macronutrients are commonly or extremely misunderstood. There's so many myths, there's so many fitness conceptions and ideas about each one, and I just kind of wanted to clarify my thoughts on each one. So today we're going to talk about carbohydrates. Probably right now the most controversial macronutrient in the fitness industry. Carbs are commonly misunderstood. A lot of people are under eating their carbs, not eating enough carbs, and are afraid to even touch or put a carb into their mouth, which is extremely bad. Okay, so let's just get into this right away. So if you guys see me looking down, it's because I wrote out 2 pages of notes that we are going to go over about carbs. So sit down, grab your popcorn, take out a notepad. If you guys are really serious about learning this stuff, take out a notepad and start taking your notes. Okay, so here we go. What are carbs? Just like I clarified before, carbs are one of the 3 main macronutrients. There is 4 calories per 1 gram of carb. Just to give you a comparison, there is 9 calories per 1 gram of fat, and there is also 4 calories per 1 gram of protein. So, a little bit more on carbs. They are the body's preferred fuel source. So when the body is going to do its daily functions, internal or external, what I mean by that is internal, when things are happening inside of your body, like to keep your brain functioning, to keep your heart beating, your body prefers to use carbohydrate for these cellular systems. Now, what do I mean by external? External, I mean by doing physical activity, working out, doing something with higher intensity. Your body is preferring to use carbohydrates, glucose, and glycogen as its preferred energy source to get that work done. Okay, what else did I write down here? Okay, so carbs, like I just mentioned, are preferred for higher and higher intensities, aka working out. When we are working out, we are preferring to use carbohydrate as our main energy source. That is one of the reasons why carbs are so important, because if people are under eating their carbs, then they are not performing properly in the gym. So if you're under eating your carbs, you're going to the gym to work out, there's not a lot of carbohydrate in your system, your body is searching for that carbs and it cannot find the carbs, so it needs to go for alternative energy sources. Since fat is so slow to actually convert into energy and use for higher intensity workouts, your body will try to use as much fat as it can, but since fat is so slow to convert to energy, it will most likely go to your protein sources or use muscle as energy, and we do not want that. We want to maintain as much muscle or grow as much muscle as possible from working out. Okay, so I wrote down 3 of the main reasons of why carbs are so important in the body. Number 1, which I just kind of touched on, is it's your body's preferred energy source. Okay, so here's a little science about carbs. Carbs are broken down into sugars. One in particular, glycogen. Glycogen is stored somewhat in the liver, but mostly into your muscle cell bodies. Glycogen is what is used when we are using our muscle in high intensity fashions, when we are working out. Now, we have a certain amount of stores that we are allowed to have for glycogen, so glycogen can cap off. So we intake carbohydrate, it converts to glycogen, our glycogen stores raise, and they cap off at a certain spot. Now when we work out, we are depleting our glycogen stores. So if you are not intaking carbohydrates, then you cannot recap off this glycogen store for the next training session. So the more carbohydrates we have, the harder we can train, and the harder we can train the next time after we restore our glycogen stores. Okay, so let's see what else I got on this page here. Okay, number 2. When you have the proper amount of glycogen stores in the body, muscle growth happens more easy and more readily. So what do I mean by that? Carbs and glycogen is what our body uses to kick start the muscle growth process. So carbs also, since they also play a role in muscular performance, working out in the gym, but they also play a role in muscle recovery and building muscle. So our our body needs energy to create muscle, right? So where is our body getting this energy from? It is getting this energy from glycogen and carbohydrate to start producing and kick-starting the muscle growth and repair process. So if you guys are not eating enough carbohydrate, and you're only eating enough carbohydrates to perform in the gym, you need a little more carbohydrate so that you could start and kickstart that muscle regrowth and repair process as well. So if I haven't convinced you already to start eating more carbohydrates, then I'm about to give you another tip, another piece of information that may convince you just a little bit more than I think I already have. Okay, so carbohydrates, when we consume carbohydrates, not only are they stored in the muscle as glycogen, but they also break down into other cells and other molecules. One of these being glucose. So glucose, when it breaks down, is leached out of the small intestine, okay? Now, it's leached out of the small intestine and into the bloodstream. Now, some people say that glucose is also used during your workouts, but probably not. Your body's going to use that glycogen stores as much as it can before it results to glucose. So where does this excess glucose go? What in our body is using this glucose? Our central nervous system loves glucose. So what is the central nervous system? It is essentially your brain and your spinal cord. Now, why is that important to performance? Why is that important to muscle growth and muscle contraction and converting energy and using it into the gym? So our central nervous system, our spinal cord and our brain, is what is signaling to our muscles and into our body to contract. So when you guys are doing a bicep curl, it's not your muscles saying contract, it is your brain signaling to the muscle to contract. Now, in order for that signaling to happen, your body or your central nervous system needs that glucose for energy in order to get that signal to the muscle to contract. So if you are not taking in enough carbohydrates, then that signal is off, it's slow, and it's not happening at the proper pace and speed that it needs to in order to have peak performance. So you can actually feel this. If you guys are in the gym and you're feeling really dizzy, you're feeling really fatigued, you're feeling really out of it, really confused, it's probably because you don't have enough glucose for your central nervous system to be signaling to the rest of your body that it needs to get work done. Okay, so those are 3 very important but not limiting factors of carbohydrates and why you should take them. Alright, so if I haven't convinced you already to take carbs, then I don't think I ever will convince you to start eating more carbs. So for the people that I have convinced, let's talk about the 2 different types of carbs, the best times to have carbs, and how much carbs we should have for our specific body type and for our specific, or actually not for the body type, but for our specific activity level. So first, let's talk about the 2 different types of carbs. We have quick glycemic carbs and we have slow glycemic carbs. So first, we'll talk about quick glycemic carbs. Quick glycemic carbs are your cereals, your refined sugars, your white rice, your potatoes, your candy, your chips, things that are refined and just simple sugars. So these digest really quickly into the body. They are digested really quickly into the body and are used as quick energy sources. So you guys have probably heard that if you have a Snicker bar, you're gonna have a quick spike in energy and a quick, what's the opposite of spike? Downfall in energy as well. So these are great pre-workout sources and post-workout sources for our body. So our body is going to look for, when we take in this quick glycemic, it's going to convert into glucose, sugar, and glycogen stored in our muscles quickly, and we're going to use this glucose and glycogen for our workouts. So these are good carbohydrates to have about an hour to 2 hours before your workout and post-workout, because remember, carbs have a good recovery stimulus as well. They kickstart our muscle growth and muscle repair processes. So make sure that you are taking in quick glycemic carbs pre and post-workout. About an hour to 2 hours, you have a window to eat those types of carbohydrates, pre and post-workout. Now, what about for the rest of the day? What about when you're not pre and post workout mode? What should you be eating? That is when you're going to have your slow glycemic carbs, your slow acting carbs. Now, the difference between these carbs and the quick acting carbs is they're going to digest slower into the body. They're going to release a steadier state of energy throughout the day. So what does this look like? This looks like your brown rice, your sweet potatoes, your whole grains, your yams, your oatmeal, things of that nature. So like I already mentioned, you're going to have these slow acting carbs on the windows that you are not working out. So the 5 to 6 hours post quick glycemic carb mode and the 5 to 6 hours pre quick glycemic carb mode. So for the rest of the day, pretty much, when you're not in that window that you can have, that you're an hour or two pre-workout or you're an hour or two post-workout, you are going to have your slow acting carbohydrates. Okay, so at this point you're probably thinking, oh shit, now I just need to eat all the carbs. I need to just stuff carbs in my mouth. No, false. It's the amount of carbs you should eat is all dependent on the person's activity level. Because remember what I said before, carbs are the preferred energy source for higher intensity things, such as picking things up, working out, just higher levels of activity. Carbs are not the preferred energy source when you're just sitting in a chair like I am right now, or you're just going through your daily activity, like maybe going to brush your teeth or just getting up for a quick little walk. That is not when your body is going to use carbohydrate. So, for someone that sits most of the day, has a desk job, or is just, sitting most of the day, and then does a 60 to 90 minute workout once a day for like 5 times a week, or just does a workout once a day, you should have 1 gram of carb per 1 pound of body weight. So if you are 190 pounds, you should have 190 pounds of, you should have 190 grams of carbohydrates. Now, if you have an active job, so you're like a landscaper, or you're a mover, or you're doing something where you're doing higher intensity movement, like you're moving all day, you're picking things up, you're more active. Plus you are doing a 60 to 90 minute workout in a day, you are going to need more carbohydrates. So you're probably going to have 1.5 to 2 grams of carbohydrates per 1 pound of body weight. So if you are 100 pounds, then you need about 200 grams of carbohydrates to sustain your activity level. Okay, now let's say you're a college athlete, you're extremely active, you're working out once a day, you guys have practice once a day, you're working out twice a day at some points, you're just a really active person. You are going to need about 2.5 to 3 grams of carbs per 1 pound of body weight. So if you are a 100-pound person, you are going to need about 300 grams of carbohydrate. So that pretty much sums up everything about carbohydrates, why you should be taking them, why you shouldn't be afraid of them, and why they are so important to sports performance, to training performance, and to muscle growth. So I hope I convinced you guys to not be afraid of carbs, to start taking in carbohydrates and incorporating them into your diets. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. The next one is going to be about either fats or proteins, and we're going to continue talking about all the macronutrients. Thank you guys for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.